Hi there! Now the melodic minor scale is a very versatile scale with many applications. Although the scale is mostly used in jazz and fusion, in other styles the scale is sparsely used too. One famous example is the verse of Yesterday by the Beatles, to name a classic. Now I already made a dedicated tutorial about the melodic minor scale in general, so watch this for an in-depth tutorial featuring the scale. For now we're going to focus on the 6 modes that can be extracted from that melodic minor scale, and we'll see how to put them to use. Now in this tutorial you will learn about the melodic minor scale itself, and in particular about the modes. Now you will study the chords within the modes and learn over what chord, what mode you can play. And you will learn the scale patterns and the minor major 7 and minor major 9 arpeggio. And that's the characteristic chords within the melodic minor scale, so it's important to learn that. You also learn how to put the modes to use in a practical and musical way. And you will see that the melodic minor scale can be used not only in jazz and fusion, but also in other styles. So let's start with a short recap of the melodic minor scale. Now the melodic minor scale has all the properties of a major scale, with the difference that the 3rd degree is minor instead of major. Now this creates a duality in the scale because the first half sounds minor and the second half sounds major. So the formula regarding the whole and half steps is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. Now this duality in quality, minor versus major, is reflected in the tonic of the scale, which has a remarkable sound. The tonic of the melodic minor scale is a minor major 7 chord, a minor chord with a major 7th degree, and it sounds like this. Also a minor 6 chord or a minor major 9 chord are beautiful equivalents. Think of the James Bond theme, for instance. Now the melodic minor scale is a diatonic scale with 2 half steps and 5 whole steps. It's one of the 3 most important minor scales. The other 2 are the natural minor scale and the harmonic minor scale. Here you see them compared to each other, and as you can see, the difference is in the last part of the scale. Now once in the classical period the harmonic minor scale was adapted to be a melodic minor scale to get rid of that awkward 1.5 step interval, while maintaining the minor character and the strong major 5th degree. Now the 3 notes that outline the melodic minor scale are the minor 3rd, the major 6th and the major 7th degree. In A melodic minor that would be the notes C, F sharp and G sharp. So emphasizing these notes while improvising will trigger the melodic minor sound. Now in this diagram of the A melodic minor scale I've marked those important notes, which I will emphasize in the next example. Now the chords in the melodic minor scale are spicy. Take a look at the C melodic minor scale. The triads in this scale are the minor chord, an augmented chord, a major chord, a diminished chord, and another diminished chord on the 7th degree. Now you can catch the sound of this scale in the 3 main harmonic functions: the tonic, the subdominant and the dominant. If we extend the triads to 7 or 9 chords, we'll see the C minor major 7 chord on the 1st degree, and this chord is typically associated with the melodic minor and harmonic minor scale. It can also be a minor major 9 chord or a minor 6 chord. The chord on the second degree can be a D minor 7 chord or a D minor 6/9 chord, for instance. The chord on the third degree is a colorful major 7 sharp 5 chord. The chord on the fourth degree can be an F dominant 7 chord, and the F dominant 7 sharp 11 chord contains the major 7th degree from the C melodic minor scale and will bring out the melodic minor character even more. Now the chord on the 5th degree is also a major chord and can be extended to a dominant 7 chord or a dominant 9 chord. The chord on the 5th degree can also be an altered chord in the form of a G dominant 7 sharp 5 chord. Now the chord on the 6th degree is a minor 7 flat 5 chord. In the C melodic minor scale, it's the half diminished chord A minor 7 flat 5. And finally, the chord on the 7th degree will also be a half diminished chord. In the C melodic minor scale, the 7th degree is the B minor 7 flat 5 chord. It contains both major 6th and major 7th degree. Now a good way of studying a scale is to play all the chords or even arpeggios of the 7 chords in a row like this. Now scale patterns of the melodic minor scale are somewhat harder to memorize than the natural minor scale because the fingering is not as systematic. First I will show you 4 of the fixed patterns that stay in one position. These are 4 kinds. A pattern with notes on the left side of the tonic on the 6th string. A pattern with notes on the right side of the tonic on the 6th string. A pattern with notes on the left side of the tonic on the 5th string. And a pattern with notes on the right side of the tonic also on the 5th string. Now you can also choose for convenience 6 note per string patterns. I would use this as an addition to the fixed position patterns and not as a replacement to avoid getting bogged down in scale runs up and down the neck. Here are 4 patterns with 3 notes per string. Now the most important arpeggio in the melodic minor scale is the minor major 7 chord and the minor major 9 arpeggio. You could play the whole scale in 7 chord arpeggios to study the chords and the sound of this scale. Now we can derive 6 characteristic modes from the melodic minor scale that all sound quite unique and very colorful. We will see that each mode can be connected to a chord type, so you can predict which mode to use over which chord. So rather using modes for songwriting, it's common to use a mode just over a particular chord. Now all the modes of the melodic minor scale have a reference to the modes of the major scale. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian and Locrian. So make sure you are familiar with these modes by watching my videos about modes of the major scale. Now here you see the melodic minor scale visualized in a circle of 12 half steps, starting at the top with the tonic of the scale, the note C. In this circle it's easy to see the whole and half step configuration of the scale, which defines the sound of the scale. Also on the fretboards it's easy to visualize the scale on one string, like you see here. Now we can start the melodic minor scale on every note of this scale, and in this way we will create modes. The whole and half steps will shift and the sound will differ. Starting on the second note D, we'll create the D Dorian flat 2 mode. Starting on the third note E flat, we'll create the E flat Lydian augmented mode. Starting on the fourth note F, we'll create the F Lydian dominant mode. And starting on the fifth note G, we'll create the G Mixolydian flat 6 mode. Starting on the sixth note A, we'll create the A Locrian natural 2 mode. And starting on the seventh note B, we'll create the B altered or B super Locrian mode. Now we can start each mode on the same tonic C, and in this way we can compare the modes a little better. Now the difference with the melodic minor scale is much clearer. Now we'll do the same with the Lydian augmented mode. And with the Lydian dominant mode. The Mixolydian flat 6 mode. The Locrian natural 2 mode. The super Locrian mode, or altered scale. Now this is a good way to compare all the modes of a particular scale. So let's look at the modes more in depth. Now the melodic minor scale itself is called the first mode, and it's often referenced to as the Ionian flat 3 mode, a major or Ionian scale with a minor third. Or sometimes it's called the Dorian major 7 chord, a Dorian scale with a major 7 degree. Now the degrees in this scale are a tonic, a major second, a minor third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, a major sixth and a major seventh. The 7 chords in this scale are a minor major 7 chord, a minor 7, major 7 sharp 5, dominant 7, a minor 7 flat 5 and again a minor 7 flat 5 chord. It's often played over a minor major 7 chord. Now the Dorian flat 2 mode is a minor scale used over minor chords. It's much like a Dorian scale, hence the name, but the second degree is flattened. It's a minor second degree. Now the scale consists of a tonic, a minor second, a minor third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, a major sixth and a minor 7th degree. It's also called sometimes the Phrygian natural 6 mode. That's because the scale could be seen as a Phrygian scale because of the minor 2nd degree with a major 6th degree. Now the 7 chords you'll find in this scale are a minor 7 chord on the 1st degree, then a major 7 sharp 5 chord, 2 dominant chords on the 3rd and 4th degree, 2 minor 7 flat 5 chords on the 5th and 6th degree, and a minor major 7 chord on the 7th degree. The scale is typically used over minor 7 and minor 6 chords, but it's also a cool substitution over sus chords and especially the dominant 7 flat 9 sus 4 chord. Listen to this example. The Lydian augmented scale resembles the Lydian scale, which is a major scale with an augmented 4th degree. In the Lydian augmented scale, the 5th degree is augmented too, so the scale has a tonic, a major 2nd, a major 3rd, a Lydian augmented 4th, an extra augmented 5th, a major 6th and a major 7th. Now the chords that appear in this scale are a spicy major 7 sharp 5 chord on the 1st degree, a dominant 7 chord on the 2nd and 3rd degree, a minor 7 flat 5 chord on the 4th and 5th degree, a minor major 7 chord on the 6th degree, and a minor 7 chord on the 7th degree. The scale is used over augmented 7 chord and major 7 sharp 5 chords, and it sounds like this. Now the Lydian dominant mode is a Lydian scale, which is a major scale with an augmented 4th degree. Now this scale has a minor 7th, or flat 7th if you like, and this minor 7th interval results in the dominant character that you'll find with all dominant chords. Now the degrees in this scale are the tonic, the major 2nd, the major 3rd, the Lydian augmented 4th, the perfect 5th, the major 6th, and the characteristic minor 7 that results in the dominant character. Now the 7 chords in this scale look like this. A dominant 7 chord on the 1st and 2nd degree. 2 minor 7 flat 5 chords on the 3rd and the 4th degree. A minor major 7 chord on the 5th degree. And a minor 7 chord on the 6th degree. And a major 7 sharp 5 chord on the 7th degree. Now the tonic of the Lydian dominant mode is either a dominant 7, dominant 9 or dominant 7 sharp 11 chord. The Lydian dominant scale is typically played over dominant chords and dominant sharp 11 chords. And it's best to use this over non-resolving dominant chords. Now here are some situations where the Lydian dominant mode works best. The Lydian dominant scale works fine over a tritone substitution of the 2 chord in a 2-5-1 progression. The 2 chord can be replaced by the dominant chord that is a tritone, an augmented 4th, away from that 2 chord. Now in A minor, the 2nd degree is B minor 7 flat 5. The F chord is a tritone away from the B minor 7 flat 5 chord. So we will replace the B minor 7 flat 5 chord with the F dominant 7 chord. Here's an example in A minor. Now over the F chord, we'll play the F Lydian dominant scale. Another trick to remember is playing a Lydian dominant scale over a dominant chord that descends a half step to the next dominant chord. F Lydian dominant is the 4th mode of the C melodic minor scale. So we'll play a C melodic minor scale over the F dominant 7 chord. Now another situation is a backdoor progression. The backdoor dominant is a tritone substitution for the 5 chord in a 2-5-1 progression. In C major, the dominant 5th degree, G7, is replaced by the D flat 7 chord, which is then called the sub 5. This chord is then preceded by the minor 2nd degree in that new key, and we call this the sub 2. And that is the A flat minor 7 chord in this case. And over the D flat 7 chord, we can use the D flat Lydian dominant mode, which is the 4th mode of the A flat melodic minor scale. So we'll use the A flat melodic minor scale over the D flat 7 chord. The 5th mode looks a lot like the Mixolydian mode, but it has a flattened 6th degree, which is the same as the flat 13. Now the degrees in this scale are the tonic, the major 2nd, the major 3rd, the perfect 4th, the perfect 5th, the minor 6th and the minor 7th. Now the first part of this scale sounds major because of the major 3rd, but the last part has a minor feel because of the minor 6th. This creates a duality in the sound and results in a very special sound. The chords you'll find in this mode are a dominant 7 chord on the 1st degree, 2 minor 7 flat 5 chords on the 2nd and the 3rd degree, a minor major 7 chord on the 4th degree, and a minor 7 chord on the 5th degree, a major 7 sharp 5 chord on the 6th degree, and a dominant 7 chord on the 7th degree. The typical tonic of this scale is a dominant 7 or dominant 9 chord. The scale is often used over these 2 chords, but it can also be used over flat 13 chords. It's a slightly different, but not a super tense sound, like the altered scale for instance. Now here it is over a B dominant 7 chord, and we'll use the E melodic minor scale, of which the B Mixolydian flat 6 mode is extracted. Now this Locrian natural 2 mode is also called the Ionian flat 5, of which I covered the pentatonic version in my tutorial about the exotic scales. Now this mode is a minor scale with a diminished 5th degree, and it's mostly used over minor 7 flat 5 chords. The scale degrees in this mode are the tonic, the major 2nd, the minor 3rd, the perfect 4th, the diminished 5th, the minor 6th and the minor 7th. The chords in the Locrian natural 2 mode are a minor 7 flat 5 chord on the 1st and 2nd degree, a major 7 chord on the 3rd degree, a minor 7 chord on the 4th degree, a major 7 sharp 5 chord on the 5th degree, and 2 dominant chords on the 6th and 7th degree. Now here's the scale over a minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is the tonic of the Locrian natural 2 mode. Now the super Locrian mode is often referred to as the altered scale and diminished whole tone scale because of its structure. As the name suggests, this scale is very suited for altered chords like the dominant 7 sharp 5, dominant 7 sharp 9, dominant 7 flat 5 and dominant 7 flat 9 chords. The degrees in this scale are the tonic, the minor 2nd, which is the flat 9, the minor 3rd or augmented 2nd, which serves as the sharp 9, the major 3rd, the augmented 4th, which is the sharp 11, the sharp 5 or flat 6, which is the flat 13, and the minor 7th. Now the chords in this remarkable scale are a minor 7 flat 5 chord or a dominant 7 sharp 5 chord on the 1st degree, a minor major 7 chord on the 2nd degree, a minor 7 chord on the 3rd degree, a major 7 sharp 5 chord on the 4th degree, a dominant 7 on the 5th and 6th degree, and a minor 7 flat 5 chord on the 7th degree. Now as you can see, there's a minor 7 flat 5 chord and a dominant 7 sharp 5 chord on the tonic. And all the extensions are altered. The flat and sharp 9, sharp 11, the flat 5 and the flat 13 or sharp 5. Now, as indicated earlier, this altered scale is used over dominant 7 chords and altered chords. As a rule, you can play the melodic minor scale that is a half step higher than the dominant chord over which you want to improvise. So there's a lot of tension hidden in this scale. So play C melodic minor over B altered. This results in the B altered scale. Playing the minor major 9 arpeggio of the parent scale will also result in a beautiful outside sound over dominant chords. Here is the altered scale over a dominant chord. Now, once you've learned the minor major 7 and minor major 9 arpeggios together with a couple of patterns and scale runs, you can start to apply melodic minor ideas over chord progressions. Now, I will illustrate this over a minor blues in the key of A minor. Now, the progression looks like this. It is based upon a standard 12-bar blues in A minor with some chord substitutions. Now in bar 4, the A minor chord is replaced by the A dominant 7 chord that serves as a secondary dominant for the D minor 7 chord in bar 5. In bar 6, the D minor 7 chord is replaced by a B minor 7 flat 5 and an E dominant 7 chord. This is a 2-5-1 in A minor. In bar 9 and 10, the E minor and D minor chord are replaced by the F dominant 7 and E dominant 7 chord. The F dominant 7 chord is a tritone substitution for the B dominant 7 chord, which is in its place a secondary dominant for the E dominant 7 chord. First, listen to the result of playing the melodic minor scale and some of its modes over this progression. After this, we'll do a thorough walkthrough. So what's going on in this modest melodic minor mode demonstration? The key is A minor. That means that we could play an A minor pentatonic scale throughout the progression. Still, this is not what we are aiming for here. We want to use the melodic minor modes for that lovely outside sound, bulge with tension notes that will find their solution in the next chord. So we start in bar 1 with a lick in the A minor pentatonic scale. This traditional lick is followed by a lick in the A melodic minor scale in bar 2, where the minor 3rd C, the major 6th F sharp and the major 7th G sharp outline this A melodic minor scale. Now the lick ends in the note B, which is the 9th, and creates an A minor 9 sound. In bar 4, the A minor chord is replaced by the A dominant 7 chord, which is the secondary dominant for the D minor chord in bar 5. Over this A dominant 7 chord we'll play the A altered scale. Now because the A altered scale is the 7th mode of the B flat melodic minor scale, we'll use the B flat minor major 9 arpeggio over the A7 chord. And this results in some spicy tension notes, like the flat 9, the note B flat, the sharp 9, the note C, which is enharmonically the same as the note B sharp, and the flat 13, the note F. Over the 2-5-1 and A minor in bar 6 and 7 we choose a proven method. The B Locrian natural 2 mode over the B half diminished chord and the E altered scale over the E dominant 7 chord. Now this lick ends on the note B over the A minor chord, which is the colorful 9th. The F9 chord in bar 9 is a tritone substitution for the B dominant 7 chord, which is the secondary dominant for the E dominant 7 chord. Over tritone substitutions, it's common practice to play a Lydian dominant scale. Whenever a dominant chord drops a half step to the next dominant chord, you can play the Lydian dominant mode over that chord. The F Lydian dominant mode is extracted from the C melodic minor scale. Now if you take a closer look at this lick, you'll notice traces of the C minor major 9 arpeggio. Over the E dominant 7 chord in bar 10, we'll use the Mixolydian flat 6 mode, which is very suitable for dominant chords and a milder sound than the alto scale for instance, but still results in a special major minor mixed sound. Now, after a pentatonic lick in bars 11 and 12, the progression ends in an A minor major 9 chord. And we'll play the 9th, the note B, for a mysterious ending. Although the melodic minor scale is predominantly associated with jazz and fusion, the scale can be used for other styles too. Because of the outside character of the melodic minor scale, some of its modes are very suitable for metal riffs that benefit from the unsettling character of some of the modes of the melodic minor scale. In the next example I'm using the E Locrian natural 2 mode that is derived from the G melodic minor scale. The notes in the E Locrian Natural 2 mode are E, F sharp, G, A, B flat, C and D. Now this B flat is a diminished fifth and gives that creepy character to the scale. After studying this tutorial, I think you have a good understanding of the modes of the melodic minor scale and how to apply the modes in a musical and sensible way. Now the challenge lies in the learning process and fast thinking. In the end, you should learn to quickly decide which mode fits over a particular chord. Now this takes time, and you should give yourself that time to get familiar with these beautiful modes and possibilities. Using these modes will enhance your sound substantially, that's for sure. Well, I hope this tutorial was crystal clear again and that you can benefit from this video. Do you like what I'm doing here? Then please consider to be my Patreon or click on the Super Thanks button. Now don't forget to subscribe and like if you want more of this. Greets, and I see you next time!